All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Adolphus Aze from AM Test Solution. Today I'm going to be doing something very amazing. I'm not going to be on a computer today, but I'm going to be displaying on the hardware component of the computer. You know, computer basically we get hardware, we get software. The hardware deals with the physical components of the computer that can be touched and feel. Then the software are the programs within the computer. So today I'm going to be displaying on the hardware component. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing, I got my tools bar right here. Everything's set, and I'm going to do something first. The first thing to get started with system unit, I'm going to be using my ESD wash. This electrostatic discharge wash. Okay, so let me pull it on my hand, my ESD wash. Yes, okay. I want to discharge myself. I'm going to put a belt on my hand. Okay, ground it on the system unit, and then I should be discharged. You know the reason I did this because you as human, you got some electronic charges in your body, on your hand, and this computer is an electronic device. So when the charge from your hands come in contact with the charge from the computer board, it damages the computer. So I've discharged myself, and let's get started. So let's see, if you don't have this, you're going to discharge yourself this way. Okay, so let me just do this thing. Let's assume that this thing is now on your hand. So you're going to lay your hand on the metallic portion of this system unit for like 10 seconds, and then you move your hand, you are already discharged. Okay, so to get started, let me open the system unit and take you through, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we open the system unit and you've seen all the internal components. I'm going to start with major component and discuss them bit by bit. So the first component I'm going to be starting with is the motherboard of the computer. So when you look into this computer, we have something here called the motherboard, which all components are connected to. So the motherboard is the main board in the computer, or the circuit board. So here is the motherboard. This whole circuit board is the motherboard that have all components mounted, and some components have been plugged on it. So after the motherboard, I'm going to be looking at the power supply of this computer. So I'm going to lift it up very easily and lift for this power supply. Okay, let me give you the importance of this power supply. Power supply supplies power to the computer system unit. When current comes from the power outlet or the receptacle, it is called the AC current, or the AC, which is the alternating current. So computer don't make use of that current. Computer make use of the type of current called direct current. Because this component need direct current to work, we have the power supply to break the current. Okay, so to get it converted, this power supply will receive the current, break it down to DC, and then distribute it to various components. So as you can see, there are various connectors here. Connecting here on the board, connecting to different components here. Some are connecting to the hard disk, some are connecting to the DVD ROM, and so forth. Then under this power supply, you have the hard disk. The hard disk is a storage device of the computer that holds your files and whatever. So this is the hard disk, and it is right on here. So when you hold this thing, press it down, you dress this thing for small, you're going to lift up your hard disk. So this is the storage media. It's called the hard disk or the hard drive. So this is the hard disk. This is SATA. This type of hard disk is SATA hard disk. It has SATA connector. So you see the power, the power cable on it, right? This is the cable from the power supply. So power also is being supplied to the stuff to get it working. Then you see here, this data cable called the SATA cable. The SATA cable is connected to the board, and this other one is connected to the head of this SATA hard disk. Then another component here is the CD room, which I'm going to lift out this thing. This is, the DVD room. The DVD room is here, and this one you can plug your, you can put your disc and when it's show, you can put your disc and install your software, whatever. This is what it's for. Then we also have this SATA cable. This is what I was talking about. This is SATA cable. You connect this cable, this stuff. Then let me get this one placed back very easily. Okay. Then when you look here, there's the RAM, RAM, the RAM, which is called the random access memory. Let me take it up quickly. To take it, I press the two sides and then lift up very easily. This is the RAM. Okay, let me put it back. I love the design. Very, very small. Very, very small. Okay, good. So when you look here also, this is called the heatsink. And the heatsink is placed on top of the CPU, which is the central processing unit. When the CPU is at work, it produces maximum heat. As such, it needs something that will be able to absorb the heat so it can work smoothly. So the heatsink is being placed here for that purpose. So when you take off this rubber that cover it, you see the heatsink. This is the aluminum block being placed on top of this system. This CPU. And then when the CPU is working, this aluminum block will draw the heat from the CPU. And the CPU is connected. It's being screwed. This heatsink is being screwed on top of the central processing unit. And whenever it holds the heat or it absorbs the heat, then this fan you see, this fan will blow the heat out. So at the end of the day, you see the fan, the intake fan will take the cool air and blow it out. Then this thing began to get cool, and at the same time, it will cool the CPU. So when there are many components on the board that will be discussing them bit by bit. So when you look on the board here, you will see some capacitors, resistors, some diodes, and you will see some data path and some integrated circuits are all mounted on the board. But in our next series, we're going to discuss all of those things. And when you look also on the board, you see like small battery that looks like either watch battery or something else. This battery is called the Siemens battery. This Siemens battery is responsible to give current to the BIOS that it may keep all settings. That is, for instance, when you set your time and date, this battery is responsible to make the computer to keep your time, your date setting, your BIOS configuration setting, so forth. So when this battery dies, any setting you do in the BIOS, it won't be safe, because whenever you shut down the computer, that particular setting will disrupt and will go back to the wrong one. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's the overview of this system unit. And this whole stuff, this whole metal and plastic bars is called system unit. Don't call it CPU. CPU is just one component within this system unit. So that's how we come to a brief discussion, or we come to an overview of this whole system unit. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any question, you can ask me and I will address it. If you got any comment, if you got any addition or any subtraction, let me know and we work it out. Thank you so much.